Right now, friends and family honor the life of one of the victims in the New Lisbon triple homicide. Also, the largest indoor water park in the world may be getting even bigger. Find out what's on the way for the Kalahari. And we're following in the California wildfires as 12,000 buildings have been lost so far in the historic blaze. Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. Today, a community mourns the life of a 12-year-old killed in the triple homicide in New Lisbon. Our Maddie Heimsch brings us Alex's legacy.
Her heart was as big as her dreams.
Friends and family remember 12-year-old Alexandria Jean Taylor for being filled with personality.
By all accounts, she was a smart, loving young lady, filled with a fire for life.
Loved ones filling Boston Methodist Church on Saturday. Alex's service was marked by singing and dancing to her favorite songs and laughing at memories shared by her siblings.
She would hop on my back and put me in a chokehold and walk me up the stairs.
Alex's wrestling skills went further than her brother's bedroom, leading her to the state championships her very first year competing with the local youth wrestling program. Her accomplishments only part of the person she was and the person she wanted to be.
I used to get mad all the time because Alex would copy the things I like, or did, but I later realized that she looked up to me, and that makes me feel whole.
Looking to emulate her older sister, Adriana.
Into your hands I commit my spirit, deliver me, Lord.
Adriana reading aloud a passage that Alex had underlined in her personal Bible, giving a glimpse into Alex's thoughts and feelings.
That Alex marked this passage in her Bible underscores the wisdom beyond her years.
As her loved ones remember the impact she made.
Alex's family knew that she would make her mark on this world. Alex was one of a kind.
That was our Maddie Heimsch reporting in Boston. Maddie, thank you. And again, our hearts go out to those impacted by the event. Now let's get a look at your first warn forecast with the meteorologist Blaze Keller. Blaze, first off, how does it feel out there?
Cold. We've got some fresh snow on the ground. It is cloudy, though, and we are continuing to see some of that snow fall here as we make our way closer to the start of Sunday. And we were expecting the snow to really pick up as we went into the evening and overnight hours and continue through at least the first half of your Sunday, especially north and east. That's where the higher accumulations are going to be. And as we go throughout your Sunday, that snow is going to trickle off. I would say probably by at least noon, the accumulating snow will have wrapped up, and then we're left with some lingering flurries. 1 to 2 inches possible, I would say, north of the Dells. Further south, it's going to be hard to even get an inch of snow. This is going to be more of that light, fluffy snow, and when all things are said and done, a lot of us, again, probably going to make off with about 1/4 to 1/2 inch of snow. Further to the north, that's where we find those winter weather advisories, so that to me says that that's where the worst of the conditions are likely going to be. We're missing out on the accumulating snowfall, the breezy conditions as well. So we're just kind of getting a little bit of a blanket of snow here compared to what's going to be further north, which is maybe a couple more inches than what we'll see. Snow continues to fall north of Madison into DeForest, Partyville, into the Newchester area, back into Camp Douglas, kind of wrapping up there in Sparta. And as I mentioned, and as you just saw on Future Track, it's going to continue throughout the rest of the night. We're headed into the 20s tonight. It is going to be a cold Monday and Tuesday. We have an alert day for your Tuesday morning, but we're not quite done with the cold yet. After that, we're going to track out the prolonged cold in the full forecast.
Sounds good, Blaze. We'll see you then. The City of Madison Streets Division will be out in full force Saturday night heading into Sunday evening. Salt trucks are expected to apply salt to 782 miles of traffic lanes that make up the salt network. Residents are advised when traveling to expect to encounter snowy and slippery roads. Streets Division plow trucks will be out for the entirety of the expected snowfall, and it will take up to multiple hours to complete one lap through an assigned route. The Streets Division only plows the non-salt route streets when there are more than 3 or more inches of snow. It does not appear to the Streets Division will have to hit that threshold to plow the non-salt streets with the upcoming snow. And if winter weather has you dreaming of getting your swim trunks back on, America's largest indoor water park is solidifying its title with a new $85 million expansion set to be completed next year. The water park will have a glass enclosed retractable roof, which will introduce 3 new water slides, the Wild Wildebeest, the green python, both 6-person wrapped slides, and the cheetah mat races, a 4-lane racing slide. And some new attractions also include the Lost Lagoon Spa Pool, the Watering Hole Pool, the Corral Cove Kiddie Slide Pool, and the Grotto Adult Swim-Up Bar. UW-Madison police are searching for a man who has reportedly stolen 3 bikes on campus since November. Anyone with information is asked to contact UW-PD at 608-264-2677. Anonymous tips can be submitted on the Badger Safe app or through the Madison Area Crime Stoppers. A construction worker dies after falling off a roof of a work site in DeForest Thursday afternoon. DeForest Village President Jane Wolfram confirmed to News 3 Now this is the site of the upcoming Quick Trip Distribution Center on the 6,000 block of Pepsi Way. Police said they located the man pulseless and not breathing. He was later pronounced dead at the scene. And a Madison man is in custody after a pursuit led to a crash on Highway 12 in Monona. Police say the man was going nearly 30 miles per hour over the speed limit. After the driver failed to pull over for a traffic stop, MPD started a pursuit with the car. Eventually, the suspect crashed his car into a ditch, taking police on a foot pursuit. Monona police arrested the man near Badger Road, and Chief Brian Cheney of Monona PD said they found an open cocktail drink and a 16-ounce beer in the car. Special Counsel Jack Smith has resigned from the Justice Department. His resignation was effective on Friday. Smith wrapped up his work on 2 criminal investigations of President-elect Donald Trump. One investigation looked at whether Trump broke any laws when he allegedly took classified documents with him after leaving the White House in 2021. The other investigation examined whether Trump attempted to subvert the 2020 election results when pro-Trump supporters stormed the U.S. Capitol on January 6th in 2021. Meantime, Attorney General Merrick Garland could soon release the special counsel's report that alleges Trump tried to steal the 2020 election. Trump's co-defendants have tried to block the release of the special counsel's report, but on Thursday, the U.S. Appeals Court cleared the way for the report's release. It is unclear when that might happen as of right now. Firefighters are grappling with the loss of Los Angeles wildfires into the weekend as they threaten to expand into new parts of the ravaged county. The fires have consumed an area larger than San Francisco. The LA County Medical Examiner confirms it is investigating 11 fire-related deaths in the worst wildfires the county has ever faced. CBS's Ashley Sharp reports from LA.
Battling multiple fires across LA, firefighters are desperately trying to contain the catastrophic Palisades wildfire before it spreads to the Northeast.
Our top priority remains saving lives and protecting property.
Homes here in the Mandeville Canyon have burned as the Palisades fire rages on for hours with no clear end in sight.
Ground crews and aerial assets worked through the night in the Mandeville Canyon area, creating containment lines and protecting structures, continuing a full suppression effort.
There's concern that winds could pick up yet again and push the wildfire towards the nearby Getty Museum and UCLA.
Challenges right now are the weather and the topography. As we've seen this morning, there's been a lot of wind shifts and an increase in the wind velocity since we've been here. When we first started out in this area about an hour ago, the air was relatively clear. Now the wind has shifted and now we're back in the smoke.
Officials also worry the Palisades fire could cross over I-405 and into more densely populated areas in the Hollywood Hills and San Fernando Valley. LA's police chief says a new task force will investigate the cause of the catastrophic fires.
This task force is made up of local, state, and federal partners designed to investigate the cause of these fires and to see if there's any connection between them.
On Saturday, law enforcement warned people who have been driving up to get a closer look at the blazes to stay away. Ashley Sharp, CBS News, Brentwood, California.
California's Attorney General said that anyone who engages in scams, price gouging, looting, or other crimes during the wildfires will be held accountable under the law. Officials say at least 20 people have already been arrested. And after the break, Blaze returns with a complete look at your forecast. And watch as Wisconsinites plunge into freezing winter waters to help raise funds for the Dane and Merrimack volunteer fire departments. Plus, how the looming TikTok ban deadline may impact some Wisconsin content creators.
Now at 10.
Thank you for staying with us. Now, winter can be a slow season for some bars up in Lake Wisconsin. That's partly why Lucky started the Beer Belly Plunge. Our Ellie La Liberté shows us why some people are taking the leap.
Yes, that is cold.
Literally takes your breath away.
Plunging for a purpose.
We just saw this on Facebook and said, hey, for a win, we're just gonna do it.
The second annual Beer Belly Plunge at Lucky's on Lake Wisconsin in Lodi.
We have crazy busy summers with people on the lake, but in the winter, you have to get a little more creative.
And why do people jump?
Bragging rights and to raise money for the local fire department.
People are jumping in icy cold water, raising money for the Merrimack and Dane fire departments.
Dane and Merrimack fire departments making sure that roughly 27 jumpers are safe.
We've got people trained in cold water rescue. We've got the equipment for it. And we had people that were interested in doing it, so we were really happy to be out here.
But the reason for being here goes deeper.
I mean, there's a lot of rural communities that aren't really close to some of these big paid departments. So you got to have volunteers to keep communities safe.
The event raised money by the plungers, sponsors, and a raffle. In addition to all that, 10% of sales went to the departments.
Unfortunately, you need money for everything. So getting out and even just being in the community so people can see, yep, these are the people that are coming if I need help. That's also important.
For the jumpers,
the worst part is getting out.
The cold is worth it.
I felt colder than last year.
Reporting in Lodi, Ellie La Liberté, News 3 Now.
Ellie, thank you. Today's event raised more than $10,300. A person was taken to the hospital following falling through the ice on Mineral Point Friday afternoon. The Iowa County Sheriff's Office said they fell through on Ludden Lake. Mineral Point EMS, Mineral Point Fire, and Iowa County Technical Rescue, along with other departments, responded to the scene. They were safely removed from the ice. Now let's get a look at your first one forecast. Meteorologist Blaze Keller joins us now. Blaze.
And as I mentioned at the top of the newscast, we're going to be dealing with some light snow, maybe up to an inch of snow across most of the News 3 Now coverage area. Further to the north, and especially across northern Wisconsin, that's where the storm may bring up to 2, maybe 3 inches of snow. It's going to be more of that light, fluffy snow, so it's going to be easy to remove as we go throughout your Sunday. After that, we welcome in our first of a couple blasts of cold air throughout the next 7 to 10 days, and that's prompting an alert day for right now, just Tuesday morning. Wind chill values could be as cold as 15 to 20 degrees below zero. We put a future track image of that on our Facebook page, so if you've got friends or family in the area and they don't know that it's going to be cold, you can tell them to either go to our Facebook page or you can share it with them so that they can stay safe as we're waking up and going to work on Monday, or you're sending the kids off to school. It's going to be about 10 to 15 degrees below zero, feeling like as we're going back to school, back to work, or kids are going back to school on Monday. But the threshold for those extreme cold alerts that are replacing wind chill alerts, that's going to be more present on Tuesday. We're going to open up the skies a little bit more Monday night into Tuesday. With the clearing skies, the breezy northerly winds, and a little bit of some fresh snow, we kind of have all the makings for a very cold start to your Tuesday. So for now, we're just going to have that alert day on Tuesday, but stay with News 3 Now. If we need to issue one for Monday, we'll of course let you know. So Monday and Tuesday looking to be about 14 to 15 degrees cooler than where we should be for this time of year. We warm up briefly there Thursday and Friday, and then we cool right back down as we go into that next weekend and that following work week. And the prolonged cold does not look to be going away anytime soon. We are to the point, I believe, where we are the coldest throughout the entire year. Our daytime highs and our overnight lows are at their coldest here in southern Wisconsin. But this is not because we're at that point in the year. It's because we continue to see a ridge off to the west. We'll touch on that in just a moment. But even as we go further out, January 19th through the 25th, we're sitting underneath that 70 to 80% chance, if not 80 to 90% chance of cooler than average temperatures. So there's that growing confidence, that continuing trend that this ridge off to our west, pushing that warm Pacific air into parts of Alaska and Canada, is not breaking down or not weakening anytime soon. So to make room for that warmer air, we've got to move that colder air somewhere else. And once again, that's going to be here across parts of the United States. So we're going to continue to sit underneath this cooler than average temperature trend so long as the jet stream does something like this, where we find that warmer air moving into parts of Alaska and Canada, and then we have to take the once cold air that was there. So don't put away those winter coats yet. I know that it's going to feel nice this upcoming Thursday and Friday when we get into those low to mid 30s, but we could also see some light snow with that. You know, you kind of actually want to get above freezing just to get that little bit of moisture to get some of that snow. So maybe some snowflakes to end next week after a quiet but cold Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And then we look to remain not only sunny but cold as we go into that following weekend because we just don't really see any clouds over that cold. We have strong high pressure systems. And I know we were just talking about ice safety, and again, always make sure that you're using ice safety, kind of making sure that you let somebody know if you're going to be venturing out on the ice. But the lack of snow is just really going to continue to allow area lakes ice to just get that much thicker and thicker. I was reading today that somebody was out there and it was like 10 inches of ice, I think, on Lake Kegangza. So it's getting there.
Yeah, absolutely. I know last year a lot of local events had to be canceled because the lakes weren't frozen. So hopefully this year, if you're a lover of getting out on the lakes,
Yes.
you can go ahead and do that safely, for sure.
Of course.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Blaze. The Supreme Court's attempt to ban TikTok could impact several content creators in La Crosse, Wisconsin. Jeremy Wall has the story.
My son, y'all, I just got home from the gym. I can survive off TikTok and not have to sell mattresses a day in my life. So with them taking TikTok away, it will really take a big chunk out of my life, and I will have to figure out what to do.
Albert Washington is a salesman who owns Box Drop, a furniture store in La Crosse. Washington uses TikTok to create videos of his cat, and it's attracted a significant following at 1.5 million followers.
It's really influenced people to show them that a cat can be a man's best friend as well, so not just a dog.
You want to come up?
Washington started using TikTok in 2020 after his mother died. As a way to combat depression, he started posting videos. He's part of TikTok's Creator Rewards program, where he gets paid every time he reaches the minimum payout threshold based on a rate of per 1,000 qualified views. Some of his videos get millions of views, allowing him to make 15 to 20 grand monthly. Last April, the Senate passed a bill forcing TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, to sell or face a ban. Now, the Supreme Court is backing it.
TikTok collects unprecedented amounts of personal data, and as Justice Sotomayor noted, it's not just about the 170 million American users, but also about their non-user contacts who might not even be engaging with the platform.
Just like Washington, Cody Green is a content creator in La Crosse. He uses TikTok to raise awareness for mental health, also making a substantial amount of money from his video.
My concern is it seems like a beginning limitation to First Amendment rights. I think the minute we start limiting where people can talk about what they want to discuss, how people talk about what they want to discuss, it to me seems like it starts raising questions about our First Amendment rights.
TikTok is scheduled to be banned in the U.S. on January 19th, unless the Supreme Court delays or blocks the ban. And coming up in sports, Wisconsin women's hockey is back at home, and just the highlights up next.
Wisconsin women's hockey played at Wrigley Field last weekend, and as unforgettable as it was, my guess is they were glad to be back playing inside today. They hosted Minnesota State this afternoon. The Badgers have not lost to the Mavericks at home in over 10 years, and Kelly Gorbatenko was not going to let today be any different. The sophomore goes up and over the goaltender, giving the Badgers an early lead. She had 2 goals on the day and extended her point streak to 4 straight games. And then in the second period, same score in Casey O'Brien trying to set up her fellow Patty Kaz finalist, Kirsten Sims, off the crossbar, but O'Brien is there to clean it on up. Wisconsin goes on to win it 6-2. And the Badger women's hoops, they're looking to snap a 4-game skid hosting 8th-ranked Maryland. Third quarter, and Lily Cron, the junior, she caught fire. Hits the 3 to tie it up in the third, and then the next time down the floor, well, she wants more. And I don't blame her. The triple gives Wisconsin their first lead of the game. Cron hit 5 threes in this one. But that would end with the Badger surge would end there. Maryland took over in the fourth quarter, and they would go on to win it 83-68. As for the Badger men, they won their 5th straight game last night. Wisconsin dominated Minnesota and did it without one of their best players and starters in Max Klesman, which is where Kamari McGee comes into the mix. The last time that he started a game, he was at UW Green Bay. In his first start as a Badger, the senior shined, pouring in 15 points, his most in his 3 years as a Badger. He says his mindset, it didn't change just because he was starting, well, except for one thing.
Other than me being super excited just to be starting. You know, I haven't started since my freshman year, so that was like the only kind of change was just I was just a little bit more eager to play, like just excited to go. But other than that, the mental was the same. You know, each game it'll be the same. Whether I'm coming off the bench or I'm starting, I'm gonna give that same energy, the same effort, day in and day out. So nothing changed.
This morning, the Packers signed Sean Clifford to their playoff roster, but don't be afraid. It is purely precautionary because Jordan Love was a full participant in yesterday's practice and is fully expected to play in tomorrow's game. They're preparing for one of the league's most talented teams in the Eagles, and Matt LaFleur said they spent the week focusing on the things that they can control.
We're excited about the opportunity, and it always starts with, just approaching it the right way. You get to this time of the year, every game is a great challenge, and it's never easy going on the road, but I think the things that you are in control of, just the energy, the effort, it was all there. So we're excited about that and going to go embrace this challenge.
And Jalen, 2 teams were eliminated from the playoffs already today. In the playoff games today, the Packers don't want to be in that mix. They'd very much like to be preparing for Detroit next week.
Absolutely. Jordan being a full participant, definitely a sigh of relief. We know that once him and that offense really gets rolling, they're really hard to stop.
Absolutely. We're excited for it tomorrow.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Andrew. We'll be back with more after this. All right, Andrew, real quick, what does the Pack have to do tomorrow to get the W?
Yeah, I think Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur need to be aggressive from the open and let the offense win the game for you.
All right, sounds good. Looking forward to that one. Blaze, quick check of the forecast.
Yeah, snow wraps up as we go throughout the day on Sunday, and then we deal with some cold wind chills, especially Tuesday morning. That's our next alert day, but we stay quiet as we go throughout most of next week.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Blaze.